Hey, Coach, give me your breakdown of Oklahoma State.
Well, they obviously they start with their two main guys. Isaac Likely is just I don't know how to describe him. I still remember when I went and watched him play as a junior. I told the coaches when I came back, I'm not sure what he is, but I love him. And then I had the opportunity to recruit him. I'm sorry, to coach him with USA basketball, and just he would have been the captain or one of the captains with our USA gold medal team. He kind of does a little bit of everything. He's a point guard. He's a five men for them at times. He's a four man. They post him up. He's one of the leading rebounders in the league. And then obviously Cade Cunningham, who I also had the opportunity to coach with USA basketball. Just it's a special talent. A lot of God-given ability with his size and his body, and then he has a really, really good feel of the game. And between those two, you have to do a good job of limiting them. They're gonna get some, but the other guys have all stepped up, and Mike has them coming at you with a lot of different people, a lot of different looks. They will play several different defenses to get you out of rhythm. I think it'll be important for us, obviously, to take care of the basketball, to box out, because they especially like Cade and Isaac, they'll go get big rebounds on the offensive end at key times in games. So along with their big guys, the Twins are very, very athletic. So it's just they're 1-3. Obviously, they're going to be hungry. But if you look at the games, what TCU scored the last 9 points to beat them at home. West Virginia, they had by 17 or 19 in the second half, and West Virginia came back, so they could easily, and even Texas, they played really close. So, a mixture of a few older guys, a few younger guys, and they come at you in a lot of different ways.
This conference is always really competitive, but what's it say that this team was picked for seventh in the Big 12 with that kind of talent?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I talked with Chris Beard the other night before the game, and it's just he just said, "How have you done it? Has it always been like this?" And it's just so hard. It's unbelievable. The talented athletes this year. It seems like the year of the freshmen. You got a lot of good freshmen, and then some. You got your older teams, the veterans. You got great coaches. And it's tough. The league can eat you up very, very fast if you're not ready to play.
And talking to the guys via Zoom after the game, it's kind of hard to get a feel for how they're handling the 1-3 start. Is it frustration, anger? Where are they at with it right now?
Well, I hope a little bit of everything. Just obviously the frustration, the anger, the pride has to come out. But we have to play. We had a motivational guy on this morning, and he talked a lot about being mission driven and keeping and being the emotional toughness and mental toughness you have to maintain. And you're 1-3. A handful of possessions in several games could have made a difference, and some of those were emotional. Some of those were just breakdowns, discipline. And some of those are toughness. So all three of those, that mental, emotional, and physical toughness are things that I think are easy to improve. They're right there for you, but it's much more difficult than it's just, you just can't, snap your fingers and think it's going to change. And that's what our, all practice today. I just talked about, staying together, helping each other, being there for each other, and making the most of the opportunity.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Next questions for Coach Weber. Next question, Michael Goins.
Well, Bruce, is there one guy on this team that kind of keeps everybody loose? That's the kind of the cut up and the joking kind of guy.
I think they all enjoy each other. Surrey's kind of silly. Davion, just a happy-go-lucky young man. I think, I really, really would like Mike and Dejuan just to, smile, enjoy it. And I think, they want it so bad. I think I think in a way they've almost stressed themselves out. And, you got to prepare yourself. You got to come with emotion. You got to enjoy each other and be there for each other. I think that's the biggest thing. And, I think that's an important part of it. And, that they want to win. I mean, we had two guys crying on the bench on Tuesday night. We had a freshman hugging one, wiping his other guy's tears off. We had guys yesterday in our practice crying. I mean, they want to win. They want to do well. And it's obviously nationwide. This has been a stressful 9-10 months for everybody. When you throw in COVID, I thought, I've told our guys many times, I'm proud of them. We've had 12 games. We're going to play a 13th game tomorrow. There's teams that have played 3 games, 4 games. There's teams that haven't played in a month. And, I know we haven't had quite the results that we want, but, they have gotten experience and they have gotten better. Now, I hope they can reward themselves by enjoying it, enjoying the opportunities, making the most of it, smiling, and it just can't be when shots go in. They got to smile when they get a defensive stop. When somebody makes a good pass, they got to hug each other. And it's so hard because we discourage chest bumping, we discourage hugging, we discourage all that stuff. But some way we got to figure out something to enjoy ourselves and be there for each other, including the coaches. We got to help them. This is not easy.
Is Mike McGurl taking too much on his shoulders, putting too much pressure?
I think
on
so. And not only that, it's minutes too. And you can see our speaker this morning talked about when you fail or you're not, when things don't, you don't have the discipline. When is it? Well, one of the things being tired, and when you're asking Mike to play 38, 39 minutes, he's had to handle the ball, he's had to distribute, he's had to run off screens, he has to guard, usually the best guy. It's hard, but we don't have a choice. And the other night we had foul trouble. We don't really have subs. So, he's just gonna, and I told him, I just asked him the other night, can I help you? What can I do to help you? Cause I know he cares. He had 12 in the play hard the other night. Again, his assist turnovers. I'd like him to take a few better shots. He had, I think 8 rebounds maybe. So he's doing a lot of stuff, but hopefully some other guys. It was good to see Selton step up a little bit, Nigel to step up a little bit. Maybe ease the burden on him, and he can relax and smile and enjoy it.
And what kind of general makeup does Selton Miguel possess? And how were you impressed with his bounce back the other night from the TCU game?
Well, he struggled, really back-to-back games. I know he hit the game winner against Omaha, but if you look at, the stats, he didn't have his better games. So, we put a couple plays in for him. Coach Southwell convinced me to give him the ball a little more. The first play of the game, we ran a play for him and he turned it over. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a dummy. But we went back to him and he did make some plays. Maybe it'll help him. The thing he's got to do is focus on, he's got to get some rebounds for us, get on that play hard chart. He's got to do some of the other things. So when his shot isn't going, he still can be productive. And it's hard for young guys to understand that because their whole life, all they did was have the ball, score. But now it's different, obviously, at this level. It's why Isaac Likele is such a good player, because he just wants to help the team win, and he does all the little things. I think Dejuan does those. That's our version of Isaac. But I think Dejuan still, sometimes he wants to do more and just be who you are. And I think Selton's a very driven young man. Obviously, he was on the radio show last night with us. Wyatt interviewed him, and you think of a young man that came to our country as a ninth grader, didn't know English, and to get where he is now, and not be with his family, not see his family for now. It's been, getting on, I think 19 months. That is not easy. So he's a very driven young man, and yeah, you got to appreciate him and hope he'll continue to make strides, which I know he will.
Thank you, Bruce.
Next question to Kellis Robinette.
Hey, Bruce, hopefully this isn't the same question on Mike, but for a guy who was, been on teams that have been really successful with older leadership, just how's he handling that aspect of it, to go from being on a team that was winning a bunch of games to now being on a team that's trying to climb its way up?
I think he's been great. He knew what we were in for. He knew he wanted the challenge of trying to be a leader. I think if anything, kind of what I talked about before, focus on leading, helping each other, enjoying it other, and again, if other guys play better, it eases the burden on him. And but he wants to do. In fact, he wants to do too much. I think some of his tough shot selection is because he's just trying to make a play, and we're just trying to tell him. But all the plays early in the game, all he did was we found a little niche on how to beat Texas Tech, and he drove. He made the skip pass. We made shots off it. It was pretty simple basketball, and just let it come. Let it come to you. Enjoy it. Help your teammates. Keep fighting.
And I heard you mention this last night, but would that be a big deal if he wanted to come back next year, so you could have him?
I'd love him back. I hope he comes back. He missed his freshman year. It would really be a senior year for him, because he really, if you look at his minutes, I know he had some big moments in the NCAA tournament, but he didn't get the minutes he deserved, and so I hope he does. I hope he wants to be here, and I hope our team continues to make progress where he wants to be part of it, and think we can be, move up in this league standings and battle to get back in, be in the top and be battling for an NCAA bid.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Next question again, Glenn Kinley with KSNT.
Hey, Bruce, you guys have had a lot of guys lead in scoring this year. Maybe Davion one night and Mike the next night, and maybe Dayswan another night. Do you think that makes it more difficult for teams to prepare to play you guys?
I hope so. And that's the one thing we're probably not one-on-one guys. We maybe the age, maybe the understanding when to take a guy, all that stuff. But we pass the basketball, we're pretty good. And when we share it, I thought we did a great job. All the offensive stats were pretty good against Texas Tech. Some of the other games, when we make those plays. So I think that as a staff, we're trying to help them. We spent more time on offense the last couple of weeks since we got back, trying to help them find things where they can be successful. Each team's a little different. You got to adjust. I thought we did a good job against Texas Tech, TCU, and after the beginning, I thought we started seeing some stuff. We just missed the shots. So it's got to continue tomorrow, because they're going to scramble and mix it up on you, and you're going to have to make basketball plays. So, tomorrow it might be Rudy Williams hitting 5 threes from the corner or something, and that hopefully it becomes a strength of us, our balance.
Thanks, Bruce.
Next question to Grant Flanders.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to get a quick update on Monty, if anything else has come up since the last game, and if he's doing well.
I think Monty will, from what I understand from his family and him, he's made a decision probably to have a surgery procedure, and that'll be coming up in this next pretty fairly soon, up next week or so. And then that recovery is probably about 6 weeks. And he gave it a go, I mentioned the other night, and, just didn't feel he could fight through the pain. And he, just opportunity, hopefully, to be pain free and come back and have, get to redo his sophomore year, and come back better than ever.
So do you think he could come back this year at all still, or do you think he might play out
It
for
would
the
be
year?
I think it'd be a stretch. It's probably 6 weeks. So if he has a surgery, in the next week, you're pushing that last week of the season, maybe. And that's being on the court and stuff, which is, again, you don't play. He didn't play basketball for a month. So you missed a whole month. He played for a week. And now you're going to add another almost 2 months on. It's going to be tough to come back. And I think he just wants to get that knee healthy. So he feels like he's raring to go a year from now.
And then last thing I have with obviously the Montavious' injury and Casey Isiagu, I mean, he's coming back soon, but what is it like in that, big man position with Bradford being really the only, it seems, serviceable big that can play defense and still give you good offense?
Well, I really thought Carleton the other day, and even Surrey gave us their ball screen defense was the best they had been when you watch the tape, and they've had their struggles. And again, Carleton's a guy who hasn't practiced. Surrey's missed practice. It's all new to them, and so we got to just keep hanging with them. It puts a lot of pressure on Davion to play 30 minutes. If we can get between those other two guys, 14 minutes, keep Davion around 26 or so, I think it really helps. But I can't say enough about Davion. I've said it over and over. He's been my, pleasant surprise of those young guys, and he's come way further. I guess people asked about silver linings the last time. The silver lining of Casey getting hurt has definitely been that it's given Davion, Carleton, Surrey an opportunity to play. Now it's made it much tougher on us, but in the long run, those guys are going to be much further along.
And then in the two road games you've had this year, it's only been 2, but it seems like the team's been able to get out to some hot starts, especially compared to what it's been like at home. What's that been attributed to?
It's something I talked about with our guys, and actually the motivational speaker talked about this morning, about that complacency, when you make mental mistakes, when you get tired, when pressure gets to you, and then when you take things for granted and get complacent. And I don't know if, being at home and we don't have, you go on that road, that fear, that tightness, and we talked today a lot about the players said we got to deliver the first punch. We've done that on the road. Ironically, if you look at the Texas Tech and Iowa State game, very, very similar scores, like 7-6, 8-7, something like that. First TV timeout, make a run, got it to 17-10 against Texas Tech, got it, I think, up 9 or 10 against Iowa State. And Iowa State, we were able to keep it going. Obviously, we didn't do that against Texas Tech, and they made a run. But I've talked to him about it several times. You got to have the emotion. We don't have the home crowd that you've had in the past. That emotion has got to be there, and it can't just be on the road. It's got to be at home also. And I think if you look in the league, I don't know where it is now. I know at one time it was like 10-4 or something. The road teams have won. I'm not sure where it is now, but it's you can tell that the crowd difference is really big.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question of Michael Goins. Michael, you're muted.
Pardon me. I guess upon his entry to college basketball for Luke Kasuki, what would be his role that you guys have had struggles with or low quality from so far this year?
Well, he gives you a big guard, and obviously he was really known as a shooter, a guy that really understands the game. He comes from a really good program. Chaminade had some, high level guys coming through there. He led his team to the state Final Four last year, didn't get to finish it, but just a young man that understands the game. He got a good body. He's put on weight, strength. He can really shoot the ball. So a nice mixed player for us, but it's going to take him a while. He hasn't played basketball, any live basketball, and just got involved in some contact stuff last week. So it's been since last March. So it'll take him a little bit, but I'm just happy for him that he's more involved. He was on scout squad today a little bit. And, it's been a long stretch for him, but he's kept a great attitude. His family's been good. And, hopefully he gets the opportunity to give us a little bit this season.
And how do you dissuade your guys from shooting just a slew of 3-pointers without hurting their confidence and keeping them in the right mental shape?
It's a fine line. There's no doubt. And we've talked about it. I've talked with other coaches about it. We've showed tape and we'll just say, hey, look, this is a contested one. This is early. Look at the shot clock. It's 18 seconds left. And, I think I think that's one thing. I don't think Mike is doing it selfishly. I just think he wants to help the team. And they got to do a little better job. I thought for the most part, most of our threes against Texas Tech were good ones, open ones. Shot a couple. Obviously, everyone takes tough ones in the game. But the more open ones we can work for and the more easy baskets we can get, obviously it's gonna give us a boost of offense and hopefully success in the win column.